Okay, let's try this again. Hopefully, third time is a charm. Hopefully, third time is a charm. Let's get to fucking grifting for Hippler and Idaho. So, hopefully this thing's working. Not sure if it is. I'll give it a minute, let some notifications click in. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. Happy New Year. Third time's a charm, friends. Let's hope third time is a charm. I'm going to share screen. We're going to get into this. We're going to pick up right where we left off. Hopefully, you can see this okay. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. Let me know how audio's doing, friends. I'd really appreciate it. I'm not sure if I fixed this or if I haven't. Good to see you again inside your bones. Hello, hello again. Yes, hello. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate everybody being here. Oh, you moved from what you were watching. Yeah, I think Lana's going live at like 9 o'clock too. So, fucking A. Whatever it is, what it is, man. So yeah, let's do a quick audio check. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. How does it sound? How do we sound, friends? Give it a minute. Let some notifications click in. Hopefully the audio is going to hold up for us this time. One can hope. One can hope. Donna Salamander, hello. Well, hello to you. I saw some friends became members as well while we were waiting to go live here. Welcome in, new members. Welcome, welcome. Appreciate you. Christina, hello to you. How you doing? Okay, so sounds good. Audio's good. Yeah, okay, perfect. Wonderful. We're going to pick up where we left off on the last live. I did switch the last live to members only because everybody was saying like the audio started glitching. I don't know. I went back and listened to it real quickly at like 2 speed on the replay. It sounded good. Everything sounded fine until the very, very end. So, I mean, I don't know. I'll probably take it off members only, but we're going to pick up where we left off, okay, in the last stream. And where we were, the first doc that we got to go through was this document from Walt Hall here. And this is where we made it to. The latent print analysis notes, just so you know. So we're going to pick up there, okay, because that's where I left off. So hopefully audio is going to hold up for us. We'll be able to make it through the rest of Walt Hall here. It's only like 10 pages. And then we'll get into Maori's thing. I also have a binder here from FBI. I forget who that's from. We'll look at that. I don't know, I got a few things open here. So, turpentines and moonshine. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. All right, friends. So yeah, brooms up, bitches. Let your friends know we're live. Hopefully the audio is gonna hold up. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it crack-a-lackin'. Brooms up. T-Coon, welcome. Welcome on in. Audio is holding up, so we're gonna roll with it, and we're just gonna go quick, 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 friends, okay? Because we all know they don't give me a lot of time around here. They give me about 20 minutes. If I'm lucky. If I'm lucky, I get 20 minutes of good audio. So, welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, thank you. Mad Hatter, Truth Matters. Hello. Good to see you. Welcome on in. All right, so yeah, thumbs it up, thumbs it down. Follow your heart, not your frown. If you're new here, don't listen to me. I don't know shit. I'm just some witch cackling bitch on the internet who likes to look at court docs and point and laugh at people. So that's what we do here. If you're into that kind of thing, go ahead and click the like, go ahead and click subscribe, turn on all your notifications. And if you don't like that, well, you should thumbs it down and then maybe not hang out. All right, yes, brooms up. Let's go. We're going to pick up where we left off, friends. So here's where we left off. The latent print analysis notes here. Dates of analysis 11/17/2022 to 11/19/2022. You can see it here in the right-hand corner. Hopefully this is big enough for everyone. It says that the date that it was opened was 11/17. It was sealed. Yes. It was initialed. Yes. It was in a brown paper bag, folded over, and the evidence taped. It also has packaging notes say S and S, October 18th, 2022, TW. I have no idea what that means. October 18th, 2022, but whatever. Then we also have here, let's see, start date for the task was 11/17/2022. Description of the surface or item was leather. The notes are, item was examined by Stephanie Wilt while in my custody. Presumptive blood testing, positive, and samples for biology were collected by forensic scientist Stephanie Wilt. Trace samples were collected on Post-it notes and placed in a manila envelope that was then repackaged with item 1. It's interesting here that even this lab analyst, forensic scientist, whoever, says that the item was examined. It tested presumptive positive for blood and samples for biology were collected. Remember when Becca Barlow was talking about the sheet that no serological testing was done, only biological? So they only screened the sheet for blood. They didn't, and the trace evidence that they picked up with sticky fucking Post-it notes, but they weren't screening it for saliva, semen, or any other serological testing. So this is what Becca Barlow was talking about when she says that, like, no, no serological testing was done on the item, right? Because they were only doing testing for blood. They were only screening for blood, which is super interesting. Are Post-it notes normal to collect samples? Is that a normal method? I don't look, I don't know. It might be fucking normal for Idaho. I don't know. I know that they will use the sticky backs of Post-it notes when they're trying to collect, like, fibers or hair, but, like, usually it would be, like, specific tape, right? Almost like a clear, very sticky tape that they would place on an item, whether it's fabric, whether it's clothing, whether it's a leather sheath, especially, where there's, like, little nooks and crannies, and you might be able to pick up, like, trace evidence. But yeah, it's super interesting. They didn't screen this thing at all. No serological testing is done. They only screened it for blood, apparently. So interesting. Do the cops not have forensic kits inside your bones? I fucking hope not. You don't, please, you don't want Moscow PD running around with their own forensic kits, friend. It's literally the very last thing that we want is any of these police officers running around with their own forensic kits. No, that's reserved for the people with the actual training. And some of them people, even with the actual training, holy shit, do they know how to jam it up? So, anyways, continuing on. So let's see. That was method one was a visual. Result one, NDP, date November 17th. Method two, ALS, result two, NDP. The date was November 17th, 2022. Method two notes, Polylight PL 400 yellow at 450, orange at 450. Oh, okay, okay. So when they're screening for, this must be for the latent print processing. Yeah, single-use powder, ninhydrin. Okay, so this must be for the latent print. So they screened it for blood first, then they did latent prints. Everybody remember that, right? They decided they were going to screen it first for blood and do all their little collection for blood and swabbing, and then preserve certain areas for fingerprint analysis, right? So that's why they screened it for the blood first, and then fingerprint analysis last, because if you do fingerprint analysis first, it can destroy DNA and other, evidence, biological evidence that may have been left on the item. So, um, Ro, hello. Yes, I saw you became a member. Welcome in, honey. So glad you're green. Hi, Ro. Leslie and Billy, good to see you, honey. Welcome in. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully the audio is going to hold up and we're doing much better now. Third time's a charm, let's hope. Third time is a charm. Oh, also, by the way, the White Rabbit, you're very welcome. Christine Hurd, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Quickly, I should let you know, in the last live that I had to end, I did give anybody in Idaho who thinks that I should not be showing any of these documents because they're completely unredacted. Um, unless you want to pay me the $10,000 that Idaho wants me to pay them for a FOIA. I don't know what to tell you. It's not my job to come in and redact all of these documents because the Ada County Courthouse and Judge Hippler are too fucking incompetent to do it themselves before they release these items. It's not my fault that they were released unredacted. It's not my fault that the Ada County Courthouse doxed everyone in here. It's not my problem. And I'm not going to go through and spend my time redacting the documents that they should have redacted themselves. It's not my problem. So, the same way that Hippler says, well, Kohberger shouldn't have left his DNA at a crime scene. I'm going to go ahead and say, well, I guess these people shouldn't have put themselves in a position to be suspects in a quadruple homicide. Now, should they? Right? The same logic can apply. So I'm not redacting any of this. We're going to read it as is. We're going to read it as unredacted and the way that the court released it. Okay. So I just wanted to make that clear to everybody. I don't want someone coming back saying, oh my God, I can't believe you doxed those people. Oh my God, I can't believe you shared their information. I mean, I didn't. I didn't. It was the Ada County Courthouse who did it. So if you have a problem with it, go fucking sue the shit out of them because they're the ones who released it, right? Don't know what else to say. I'm not redacting anything. Okay. So if that bothers you or upsets you, oh well, so sorry. Can't please everybody. But I'm definitely not redacting any of this. Okay. It's not my fault. I'm sorry. You know, that you pay them too much, people of Idaho, Idaho taxpayers. I hope you're listening. You pay these people far too much money to be this incompetent. Okay. You pay them far too much money to be this incompetent. They want to charge me $10,000 to honor a FOIA for stuff in this case that doesn't, images that don't even depict the victims. They want $10,000. You understand? For images that don't even depict victims. But they're so incompetent that they can't even redact documents before they release them to the public. And I hate to say it, it's not my problem. I'm so very, very sorry, Idaho taxpayers, that you pay these people far too much money to be this incompetent. So as we go through the list and we get everybody's name completely unredacted, do not come for me and try to blame me and say that I'm the reason these people's names are out there. I'm not. It's Ada County Courthouse. It's Judge Hippler. So you can go ahead and file your civil suits against them. They actually should be fired. Whoever released this information without properly redacting it the first time, those people shouldn't have a job. They're paid far too much money to be that incompetent. Okay. So just wanted to make that clear to everybody who's here. Okay. Idaho, if you're listening, you pay these people far too much money. Hippler should not be getting the paycheck he receives. The people running that court should not be getting the money they receive in their salaries from the taxpayers. I'm sorry. They just shouldn't. They're very incompetent. Idaho's very incompetent. They're the next state that needs a full fucking audit, in my opinion. Full audit. So let's get it crack-a-lack in Kathy's Indie Zone. Oh my goodness, hello. Hello, darling. Happy New Year. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome, welcome. All right, so it says there's like 70 of you here, okay? Blueberry, Blueberry, what's up? What's up? Yeah, we got the pristine audio temporarily, probably, right? Once Idaho realizes I'm showing all this shit, they're probably going to come right in and fuck it all up again like they did earlier. But exactly, they're always listening. You know they are. Lady Juzzy, hello. Hello. How you doing? So yeah, that's what we're doing tonight, friends. We're grifting. We're grifting for Idaho. We're grifting for Hippler. This is the grift stream. Feel free to donate all you want for the grift. This is the grift, okay? They want $10,000 to honor a FOIA? Okay, fuckers. Okay, fuckers. You want to gatekeep and grift? No problem. No problem, Idaho. Idaho loves to gatekeep and grift, so we're going to do the exact same thing. Except I'm not a gatekeeper. I'll share it all, and I'll share it all unredacted. Okay? So let the grifting commence, friends. Brooms up. Okay. So this is when they use ninhydrin, as you can see here, use single-use powder, ninhydrin. This is for the fingerprint processing. So as you can see right here, it is dated. It is initialed or whatever. It is sealed. The evidence tape is on there. And these are some of the photos we've already gotten. This is just the state's exhibit, S23B for Walt Hall. So it's only 10 pages. There's the sheath. You've seen these images of the sheath. And here's the next one. So don't accuse me of doxing anyone. These are all of your names here. So date that the evidence was accepted, December 13th, 2022, Tina Walthall. Okay. Suspect, Jack Decor. Subject, Bethany Funk. Subject, Dylan Mortensen. Subject, Jose Cruz. Subject, Jeremy Regan. Subject, Mason Barstow. Subject, Coy Nugent. I think that's that Kayla girl's brother. Kayla Nugent. There's an interview with her, if I remember correctly, Kayla. We also have a Derek Agbenya, Patrick Butner, Courage Alorbu, 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 Alorbu. I don't know how to say this person's last name. Courage Alorbu. James W. Deskins, Henry Clark, Kenneth R. Anderson, Donald McDonald, Reed Upmore, Jonathan Exene, Mackenzie Griggs, Syringa Riley, Chase Dixon, Caleb Jacobson, Brennan D. Crawford, Tyler Yelk, and George Simitchis. I don't know how to say that guy's last name. And then all your victims here. Okay, so it looks like, yep, Jack Decor was definitely suspect numero uno. Jack. Jack was definitely suspect numero uno. Date of evidence accepted was December 13th, so a month after the crime. Interesting. A month after the crime, item 66, 1 Keystone Light Can. Item 68, 1 Keystone Light Can. Item 69, 1 Keystone Light Can. Conclusions and interpretations. Items 66, 68, and 69 were processed for latent prints. Items 66, 68, and 69, latent prints were observed or developed. Latent prints 66.1, 60, and through 66.12, and then 68.1 through 68.12, and 69.1 through 69.9 have been forwarded for comparison. Results will follow in a separate report. Disposition of the evidence. 33 latent prints were marked and preserved. Digital images are being retained by ISP Forensic Services. 18 latent lift cards were generated and retained in an impression evidence packet. The IEP will be sent to the submitting agency upon completion of the comparison portion of the examination. Items 66, 68, and 69 will be returned to the submitting agency. And look at that. Issued on 12/3/2022. December 23rd, 2022, when the wheels fell off the fucking wagon, friends. Remember that? Isn't that what Cy Ray said? December 23rd, 2022. It's when the wheels fell off the wagon. Kaleidahope, hello. Okay, so let me stop sharing that one. That was for Walt Hall. That was an easy peasy 10 pages. All right, next. Let's get into the next one. That was Walt Hall. Do, 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 do. Where is it? Okay. Let's go look at this one next. Let's go look at Mowry's. Detective Mowry, you sandbagging son of a bitch. We're looking at you next, friend. Okay, let me come over to chat. Let me make sure everybody can see this, okay? Welcome in, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Did you miss the report number? Shouldn't have listed a... Oh, hang on, honey. I'll get it for you, Blueberry. Hang on. You're right. There's probably a report number. I don't fucking know. It just says issue date 12/23. Hang on. Report number 15, darling. It says report number 15 on that one. It's the other one up here. I think they all say report number 15. Let me just make sure for you. I don't want to give you incorrect information. Looks like we have report number 2 and report number 15 are what is in the state's exhibit S23B for Walt Hall. We have report number 2, report number 15, and yeah, that's it. Report number 2 and report number 15 for Walt Hall, if that helps you, Blueberry. Anything for you, darling. All right, let me come back to chat. True Crime Unleashed, hello. Good to see you. Welcome on in. All right. So let's get into Detective Mowry. Where is Detective Mowry? Where are my mods? Do I even have mods because I'm on Restream? So, usually it'll show my mods in blue for me when I'm on like StreamYard or whatever. But mods, if you're here, thank you. Love you. I truly appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. And all of the people who are not mods. Also, welcome, members, subscribers, lurkers. Good to see you. Okay, let's get into Detective Mowry here. Let me make this bigger. Bring this over this way. That way everybody can see it good. There we go. Okay. So we have supplemental report from Detective Lawrence Mowry. Let's see. This was filed. He typed this up. It says at 3:40 and 18 seconds on November 17th, 2022. Cell phone warrants. Let's see. November 17th, 2022. On November 16th, 2022, I applied for and was granted the following warrants for the cell phone providers servicing the area around 1122 Kings Road in Moscow, Idaho. We have AT&T for a tower dump of all records and unique device/user identifiers pertaining to timing advanced real-time tool RTT, location database of records locabore, location information during the following listed dates, times, and geographical boundaries. It gives the GPS coordinations. Your distance is 0.50 miles, and he's looking for November 13th between 3 and 5 a.m. This warrant was served at approximately 10:09 via email for AT&T GLDC. Interesting. AT&T GLDC in 2022. Is Mowry detect harm, hopefully. Bree, hello. How are you? Welcome in. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I hope you're having a happy new year. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you stopping in. So GLDC, Global Legal Demand Center. I thought the AT&T GLDC didn't have anything until 2023, correct? Global Legal Demand Center. Why do I feel like it's a brain worm? It's a brain worm I have in my brain. I'm trying to remember it. pertaining to the GLDC, the Global Legal Demand Center. I thought that the Global Legal Demand Center could not and would not produce records like this until 2023 because prior to that, they allegedly could not. I keep cutting out. Of course I do. I shouldn't be. I should not be cutting out. Global Legal Demand Center, right? I thought the Global Legal Demand Center could not give you any of this information until 2023, right? Um, so that's super interesting. Detective Mowry here is saying that, what do you mean I have no audio? It shows me as like totally that it's catching me. It shows me like I can see it on my end. I have no audio? No, we're not muted. What the fuck? Hang on. Okay, yeah, no, we're definitely not muted. You heard me loud and clear. You can hear me. You can hear me. Everybody could hear me. Audio's fine. Audio not working. So we got Blueberry and Don't Be Hatin' saying audio's not working. Yeah, they're trying to redact me in real time. No shit, Steven. Welcome on in. Good to see you. Audio's fine. Audio's fine. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Audio's good. It glitched for a few seconds but came back. Okay, cool. So Global Legal Demand Center. Where's my Twiz? Where's Twiz? RJ Anderson, good to see you. I could have sworn the Global Legal Demand Center could not produce anything like this until 2023. So why is Mowry saying that he submitted this request to the Global Legal Demand Center November 17th, 2022, if the Global Legal Demand Center would not have been able to produce timing advance and locbor files for you in 2022, right? Meg, beautiful Meg P. Hi, honey. You're getting the kids ready for bed. Do what you got to do, darling. Do what you got to do. No worries. You go do what you got to do. Hopefully the sound is holding up, guys. I don't know what else to say anymore. You could hear before Kaleidohope. Thanks, honey. No, sometimes I'll just go silent for a minute because I'm thinking too. I think YouTube might be glitching for you guys, maybe, because it's showing on my end that I'm like totally good, man. I've got full bars. My signal is great. Like I shouldn't be having any issues here. Leslie and Billy says my sound is great. So I'm not sure, guys. I'm really not sure. But it's super interesting here that according to Lawrence Mowry, on November 16th, he applied for and was granted the following warrants. AT&T right here. For a tower dump of all records and unique device user identifiers pertaining to timing advance and locbor files for this time frame, November 13th, between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. He claims for these phone numbers, okay, he says that he needs these three AT&T call detail records, CDRs, for the following phone accounts. And it gives three AT&T wireless numbers here. This warrant was served at approximately 9:22 via email at AT&T GLDC. I thought the Global Legal Demand Center could not produce timing advance in 2022. Correct? Yeah, I know they had the phone data. They did have the timing advance. See, that's the issue. That's what this is what happens though when they lie, right? This is what happens when they lie. Yeah, they didn't redact it. Sandra, they didn't this is all of the unredacted, documents that they released and then tried to pull them back off the website. Um, I'm just not gonna do their job for them and try to figure out what they were gonna redact, what they weren't. It's not my job. They get paid far too much money to be this incompetent anyway, so whatever. We're showing it the way that they released it, which is completely unredacted. So, I don't understand how you could be requesting timing advance records from AT&T Global Legal Demand Center in November 2022 if AT&T Global Legal Demand Center could not provide timing advance records in 2022. Why would you ever be asking for them? Why would you ever be asking for something they don't do and can't produce? Hmm? Just asking questions. No, I understand the preservation request, right? That's still not what I'm talking about, right? Still not what I'm talking about. We were told that in November of 2022, the AT&T Global Legal Demand Center could not produce timing advance records because timing advance records and that kind of data did not start getting produced until like May of 2023 or March of 2023, if I remember correctly. You could not obtain that information from the Global Legal Demand Center. Prior to 2023, it was only certain federal, like, agencies, certain agencies that could get that stuff, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me, but I'm almost positive that I distinctly remember all of this. Jennings, you know what? Makes me wanna go look at Jennings' response too for the damn timing advance records. Hang on. Hold, please. I'm gonna go do that right now because 'cause I'm pretty sure it's in her response. State's objection. Timing advance records. Where is it? Let me go find it real quick. State. State's response. Timing advance. Where is it? State's motion in limine regarding timing advance. Then we have defense's response. Then we should have Jennings' response to it. I remember it. Hang on. Hold, please, friends. I'm looking for this in another window. Defendant's objection to the state's motion in limine, AT&T, okay, and then state's response. That's what I'm looking for, state's response. I know it's in here. Hang on, guys. Sorry. I just have to go look at it because now my brain wants to know exactly what she said. State's reply to the defendant's objection to the state's motion in limine regarding timing advance. 17 pages. Here we go. Timing advance records refer to data that is used by providers to estimate a location of a mobile device, blah, blah, blah. Regarding AT&T, here we go, friends. Before June 2023, AT&T retained timing advance records for 7 days. These records were not routinely provided in response to legal demand prior to June 2023. It's right here. These records were not routinely provided in response to legal demand prior to June of 2023. After June of 2023, AT&T started providing these records pursuant to legal demand and began retaining timing advance records for 13 months. So, isn't that interesting? I'm going to link this. Where is it? I just had it, damn it. Where'd it go? Grab this. Copy. I'm going to put this in the chat for anybody who wants to go read it themselves. Okay. That's what I was just reading. Okay. So according to the state, normally prior to June 2023, you would not be able to get like timing advance and stuff from GLDC. I could be wrong, but hi Matrix, welcome on in. Welcome in everybody. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. All right, so okay. So we have these phone numbers here. These are the three they were looking for in the AT&T. They wanted the CDRs for these three phone numbers. 1278 1224 7846 AT&T. 1224. Was that Ethan or was that Bethany? I know that Dylan and Kaylee were T-Mobile. Who was AT&T? Anyways, their phone numbers are there. So it's interesting. Lawrence Mowry here, he's looking for 3 to 5 a.m. He wants the timing advance records and the loc bore files in the tower dump, right? Tower dump of all records. And it was served to GLDC at 10:09. It would look like November 16th. Then it says here, for the AT&T call detail records for the following phone accounts, these three numbers, this warrant was served at approximately 9:22. Okay. Then we have Verizon Wireless, the custodian of records, looking for a tower dump or all records and unique device user identifiers pertaining to timing advance, RTT, loc bore, location information during the following listed dates, times, and geographical boundaries. GPS coordinates, distance from location, 0.50 miles. Also looking for November 13th, 3 to 5 a.m. And we also get, he's asking for the CDRs for the Verizon call detail records for these following phone numbers. 360-982-1841. Verizon Wireless number 775-737-3185. Verizon Wireless number 208-819-2881. 360-775. What are those area codes? 208's Idaho. But we've got two area codes here in the tower dump that he's looking for call detail records on for these two phone numbers. 360-982-1841. Was that Ethan? Is that a Washington? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Lucy, darling, hi. For fuck's sake, Fitziana, thank goodness. Hello, hi. How are you? Tower dumps were served with the individual numbers. Well, good. I'm glad you're Washington and Nevada. That's what I thought. Okay, so it's Ethan and Bethany. Gotcha. Okay, that's what I thought. I'm glad that you're here, honey, though, right? Because what I wanted to ask was, I was just reading something. I know you already went through this. Wasn't the Global Legal Demand Center, right? I thought that the Global Legal Demand Center didn't produce timing advance records for stuff until 2023, right? So even if you put in a request, the Global Legal Demand Center couldn't produce that for you. They couldn't produce it until 2023. But Mowry's claiming on like November 17th, 2022, that he is submitting these to the Global Legal Demand Center, asking them for the timing advance file, the timing advance records in the loc bore. files. So, oh, you think it's Washington. Oh, okay, honey. Thank you, Jen. So, I'm not sure, I just thought for some reason the GLDC stuff was standing out in my brain. I thought they couldn't produce any of that until 2023. K-Dips, hello. All right, lurkers. Good to see you. They did not produce for all. Right. Yeah, that's what I thought, honey. Right. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. Let's continue. This warrant was served at approximately 9:35 via fax. Then we have T-Mobile for a tower dump for all records and unique device identifiers pertaining to timing advance, RTT, Lokbor location information during the following listed dates and times and geographical boundaries. Also 0.50 miles, November 13th, 3 to 5 a.m. Warrant was served at approximately 10:29 via email at the LER inbound at T-Mobile. Looking for the call detail records for the following phone accounts: T-Mobile 4818, T-Mobile 4782. That's Kaylee and Dylan. Then they did Inland Cellular for a tower dump of all records and unique device identifiers pertaining to timing advance, Lokbor, RTT, location information during the following listed dates. Same thing, November 13th, 3 to 5, 0.50 miles distance. No phone numbers for this one, just a general tower dump, and it says it was served November 17th, or maybe that's when he typed this up, I guess. November 17th at 3:40 Pacific Standard Time, and it was reviewed by J.W. Lawrence, Sergeant Lawrence, on November 17th at just a couple hours later, 1826. This is a 115-page document, friends, so buckle in. Lock in, friends. Then we have a supplemental narrative for the Olivia Gonsalves files from Detective Mowry. On November 15th, 2022, I received an email from Steve Gonsalves, the father of Kaylee Gonsalves. He stated he had access to some of Kaylee's messages and phone calls. Steve stated he would have his other daughter, Olivia, contact me about those files. I was able to speak to Olivia, and she sent me various files, including an image from the spokesman review showing a camera on a nearby residence, text messages between Kaylee and Jack Decor, and text messages between Kaylee and her Uber driver, Eric, a recent phone call list, and video from the Grub Truck Twitch TV feed. I attached these files to the case file. The communication between Kaylee and Decor was located on Decor's phone, examined okay, Mowry can't type. I attached these files to the case file. The communication between Kaylee and Decor was located on Decor's phone examination, and the Twitch feed was previously downloaded. In the image showing the camera, it was found that the residence was at 1122 King Road, or 1112 King Road. The SD card from the camera was brought to the Moscow Police Department. But the file system of the card was not recognized. This is literally, you pay these people too much money, Idaho. Let me rub my eyeballs for a minute. Okay, because Mowry can't type. And somebody else reviewed this for him, by the way. Another sergeant reviewed this also, by the way. Let's try this again. In the image showing the camera, it was found that residence was at 1112 King Road. The SD card from the camera was brought to the Moscow Police Department, but the file system of the card was not recognized. I'm not making this up. That's what it says. But the file system of the card was not recognized by any of the forensic computers. The card was returned to the owner and reinstalled into the camera. On November 17th, Officer John Rosinski recontacted the owner of the camera, Paige Carter, via phone. Carter stated she was out of town, but sent a video to Officer Rosinski showing a figure walking to the dumpster and appearing to look inside. To preserve any potential evidence on the camera, I asked Carter if we could seize the entire device, including the SD card, to which she stated yes. Carter stated she would not be back in Moscow until approximately November 28th. I directed Carter to contact me when she returns to her residence, at which time I will attempt to connect the camera back to her Wi-Fi router and view video from the device. So, from November 17th until November 28th, what went on with the camera? She may be out of town, but that doesn't mean she can't access the cameras from being out of town. Remember, there's that report where this person's brother can see them come. It was viewing the video, was literally looking at the camera footage as they were taking or putting the camera back up or taking the camera down. Do you guys remember that? So for how long did this people have access to the footage on this camera? I don't know. Absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Docket decoder. Oh my goodness. So good to see you. Welcome on in, friend. I hope you are having a wonderful new year. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas, you and your family. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you so much. All right. So I guess for like 11 days, because she says she's out of town, right? They go put the SD card back in the camera, but then what's happening with the footage and what's on the camera for the next like 11 days until she gets back to town? No? Okay. Next. Supplemental narrative, preservation for Facebook. Supplemental report number 23, Lawrence Mowry, preservation of Facebook, November 18th, 2022. On November 18th, 2022, I received an email from Olivia Gonsalves showing a screenshot of a Facebook post from Dylan Mortensen. In the post, the account, the username was Dylan.Mortensen. Reported details about the incident. In the post, the account that has the username Dylan.Mortensen was reporting details about the incident. And this is in an email from Olivia showing the screenshot of a Facebook post from Dylan. And Dylan is reporting details about the incident. I searched for this user and found a user ID of that. This account had an avatar similar to the Mortensen avatar. I was able to pull up the account and it appeared to have the following friends associated with it: Jake Schrieger, Lakeland McComas, and Maddie Mogan. I requested preservation on all 4 of these accounts. At approximately 7:45, I received an email from Facebook stating the accounts were preserved. Okay. Next one, supplemental report 24, the Twitch video. Also Lawrence Mowry. On November 13th, 2022, I was informed 2 of the victims had been patrons at the Grub Truck, located on Main Street in Moscow. I was also informed Grub Truck streams live feeds of their customers and sales via Twitch. I was able to locate the Twitch account Grub Truckers and locate the stream from November 12th through the 13th, 2022. This stream is labeled, quote, the carbonara effect will never reveal our secret ingredient, end quote. And it was located at twitch.tv, blah, blah, blah. In the video, Kaylee Gonsalves and Maddie Mogan are seen walking into camera view on the video at 3:43:01 timestamp. Interesting. In the video, Kaylee Gonsalves and Maddie Mogan are seen walking into camera view on the video at 3:43:01 timestamp. What? 3:43? That can't be right. In this video, Kaylee Gonsalves and Maddie Mogan are seen walking into camera view on the Twitch video at 3:43 and 1 second. 3:43. I thought, yeah, at the 3:43 timestamp. Oh, do you mean 3 hours? Like 3 hours into the Twitch video? Is that what you mean, JP? That makes more sense. Okay, that makes more sense. Because I was like, what? 3:43? That can't be right. Okay, that makes more sense, actually. It's late. I've been up since 5 a.m. I've tried to do this 3 times today. Okay, my brain's fried. Okay, they are accompanied by a male, later identified as John Jack Showalter. Gonsalves orders and receives food. At the 3:53:31 timestamp, the girls are seen walking around the truck and leave the area. Showalter appears to be talking to another patron and does not see the girls leave. Showalter then raises his arms in a what fashion and walks away in a different direction than the girls. A copy of this video was captured and saved as evidence. Okay, supplemental report, narrative number 26 from Lawrence Mowry, Uber location request. On November 18th, 2022, I logged into the Uber law enforcement portal and submitted an exigent preservation request for any location data associated with the Uber driver name Eric Gower with the phone number of 208-827-6059. Eric Gower. So it's not Grower, it's Gower. Due to the nature of the investigation, Uber recommended an exigency request for the preservation. In a screenshot received from Olivia Gonsalves, it showed messages which appear to be from Gower's phone between Kaylee Gonsalves and himself. The name of the recipient is Kaylee Uber. It is unknown if Gower was on duty with Uber at the time of him picking up Gonsalves and Maddie Mogan. Uber stated if the driver was, quote, on duty, it would show the location of the vehicle. If the driver was not on duty, Uber would not have the data. I was informed by Uber customer service this is common if the driver provides personal transportation services. At 14:34 hours, I received an email from Uber stating they received my request. I received an email at approximately 16:17 hours from Uber, which contained files regarding the Uber logs of Eric Gower. The record showed his location up until approximately 1:15, where it appears no other information is found, and Gower goes, quote, off duty. These records were attached to the case file. No warrant was requested or returned, as Uber provided the data via the exigent request. Okay. Come back over to chat. How's everybody doing? Hopefully the audio is holding up. Yeah, that makes sense. The hours thrive. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Yeah, thanks, Jackie. Thanks, honey. I literally have been up since like 4 a.m. I tried to do this twice. Actually, did I try to do this 2 times today just for this? And then I did another. Yeah, yeah. My brain's fried, friends. It is what it is. But now I get it. Now I get it. Okay, so it's not 3:53 a.m. that they're leaving the grub truck. It's the 3:53 timestamp. Makes perfect sense because I think that stream was what, like hours long, right? So that makes sense. All right, so um okay, so let's see. Supplement number 27, Lawrence Mowry. Devices sent to Post Falls Police Department. On November 17th, 2022, I contacted Detective Neil Uhrig of the Post Falls Police Department for assistance in examining the laptops and iPad located at the residence at 1122 King Road. Detective Uhrig arrived at the Moscow Police Department and received the following evidence item numbers: 22M-1808 Apple laptop, 22M-1809 Apple laptop, 22M-1844 Apple laptop. Wow, those numbers jumped. 22M-1809, and then it goes to 1844. Interesting. I wonder why there's that big jump in numbers. 1844, 1845, another Apple laptop, 1846 Dell laptop, 1848 Dell laptop, 1849 Apple iPad. Okay. Number 28, 1112 King video. November 13th, 2022, I was informed of a possible surveillance camera located at 1112 King Road. Corporal Ryan Snyder had spoken with one of the residents at this location, Paige Carter, who had a camera using the Home Eye Pro app on the porch of their dwelling. Corporal Snyder provided me with the username and password for the Home Eye Pro account associated with Carter. I asked Corporal Snyder if this video was stored on a cloud-based system for me to view or if Carter could download a copy of the video. I was provided a 32 gigabyte SD card from the camera, but the file format was not recognized by any of my forensic computers and prompted me to format the disk. Corporal Snyder informed me Carter could screen capture the video from her phone, and the card was returned to Carter to enable her to assist in the acquisition of the data. On November 17th, 2022, I requested the assistance of Officer John Rosinski to recontact Carter and see if she could provide the video from the camera. Officer Rosinski contacted Carter, who stated she was in Boise. Until November 28th, Officer Rosinski, Carter sent him a video. He can't, Maury, you can't type for shit, buddy. Carter sent him a video of a male subject walking by the camera at approximately 3:20 towards the dumpster. Officer Rosinski contacted me and I spoke to Carter and requested permission to remove the camera from the residence, and she consented. So at 3:20 a.m., there's someone walking towards the dumpster. Carter sent Officer Rosinski a video of a male subject walking by the dumpster at 3:20 a.m. Based on my training and experience, I know many of the different video surveillance cameras use a first in, first out storage retention system. This means the newer data overwrites the older data. I was concerned data may be lost the longer the camera continued to record footage. I requested assistance from Officer Aaron Morris to go down to the residence and unscrew the camera from its location. The camera screws into a common light bulb base commonly found on patio and porch fixtures. Officer Morris returned a short time later with the camera and the SD card. On November 18th, 2022, I again attempted to view the contents of the SD card. I plugged the card into a write blocker and it still was not recognized by the computer. I used FTK Imager version 4.7.1.2 to make an image of the SD card. Now that the data was on a drive recognized by the operating system, I then used Axiom Magnet version 6.5.0.32778 to parse data from the card. In reviewing the data, I found over 13,000 individual images from the card. They appear to be individual video frames from the camera. While attempting to view the data on the card, I received a forwarded email from Charles Nico, whose sister, Maura Keto, resides at the residence. The email stated that he was viewing the video remotely when Officer Morris removed the camera. I'm going to pause here for a minute. The reason that's why I said that earlier, because if somebody else's brother is watching them in real time remove the camera because he's watching it remotely from somewhere else, that would mean that, like, so, like, you know how, like, when the cops take a device, right? When the police are taking a device, they immediately slap that shit into airplane mode. The reason they do that is because they don't want someone going and accessing from another device, that device, and fiddly fucking around with what might be on it or trying to delete things and get rid of things. Do you get what I'm saying? So isn't that super interesting that so I guess what I'm getting at here is it would appear that for quite a few days other people had remote access to the data on this camera. It's the point that I'm getting at here. Other people had access to the data to the point that they remotely viewed the police and watched them take the camera. Let's read this again. While attempting to view the data on the card, I received a forwarded email from Charles Nico, whose sister, Maura Kiddo, resides at the residence. The email stated that he was viewing the video remotely when Officer Morris removed the camera. He stated he saw a suspicious vehicle in the area and was concerned with the video footage stored in the device being overwritten. So, Charles Nico here was viewing the video remotely from the night of the murders, believes he's seeing suspicious people, and he's also watching the police remove the camera. Interesting. I was then put in touch with Tori Long, another resident at 1112 King Road. Long stated she would be back in Moscow at approximately 10 o'clock. Yeah, 2000 hours, right? 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock. No, my brain's fried. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. I met with Long at her residence and asked again if she would be willing to assist in recording screen captures on her phone from the device. I explained to Long I would replace the camera, gather the information, and then take the camera as evidence. I also explained to Long I needed to take the wireless router since the camera was already linked to the Wi-Fi network. Long stated she would consent and allow both items to be seized. I reinstalled the camera in the light socket and it powered on. I was able to watch as Long accessed the footage on the camera. During this time, the camera showed a vehicle entering the area at approximately 3:56 hours and leaving at a high rate of speed at approximately 4:20. Long provided the videos to me. I uninstalled the camera and seized the wireless router. Both items were then taken back to the Moscow Police Department as evidence. On November 19th, 2022, while reviewing the videos located at 3:56 and 4:20, it appeared the vehicle left the area and may have traveled on Molenta Drive. However, the video stopped. In an attempt to see further and gain perhaps a better resolution, I reconstructed the wireless network the camera operated on by powering on the wireless router. I downloaded the Home iPro app on my work phone. I was able to use the app and download the video clips. These clips included audio, which were not a part of the screenshots. I was able to use the app and download the video clips. I downloaded the Home iApp Pro to my work phone. I was able to use the app and download the video clips. These clips included audio, which were not a part of the screenshots completed, and were able to capture a longer duration. In the clips, the vehicle's exhaust and acceleration can be heard, as well as seeing the vehicle leaving at a high rate of speed on Molenta Drive. After capturing the clips, I disconnected the camera and Wi-Fi router and placed them into evidence. The videos were placed onto a DVD and placed into evidence. Interesting. Okay, supplemental number 40. This is for the router interrogation. On November 13th, 2022, I responded to 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho, in an attempt to interrogate the wireless router located at this residence. After speaking with Corporal Brett Payne, he informed me the wireless router and cable modem were located in the living room on the second floor. After arrival, I used an Ethernet cable to connect my laptop to the local area network ports on the back of the Spectrum Wi-Fi 6 router with the serial number blah blah blah. The router then provided my laptop with an IP address and gateway IP, which resolved to the router. I attempted to locate a web-based management portal for the device, but was prompted to download the Spectrum app and use the account username and password to access the device. I contacted Spectrum technical support and found this was the only way for the client to access the data on the device. I then called the Charter Law Enforcement Response Team and spoke with the representative and tried to ascertain if Charter or Spectrum could retrieve data from the router via their diagnostic portal. After several days and phone calls to Charter, I spoke with Tammy Deloach, the manager of Legal Response Operations Center. Deloach stated her team was working on verifying if the router hardware was able to be accessed. On November 17, 2022, I again called Charter and left a voicemail. Deloach returned my phone call and stated her technicians were able to access and download the data from the router. However, they did not preserve the correct time frame specified in my request. I was told she would have her technicians retry and preserve the data. On November 17, 2022, I again called Charter and left a voicemail for Deloach. I received a call back from Deloach who stated the technicians were able to retrieve data for the time periods of September 14th, 2022 to November 7th, 2022, and from November 11th, 2022 to November 14th, 2022. I was informed there was a problem with their cloud services, and that resulted in the data loss for November 8th through the 10th. I informed Deloach I would be applying for a warrant and requesting that data with the legal process. September 14th, 2022. Interesting. Okay. From my training and experience, I know wireless routers allow wireless devices to connect to them for access to the internet and other devices on the local area network. During this process, after a device is successfully connected to the wireless router, a log of this connection and the specific MAC address of each device is kept on the device. If a user previously selected the connect automatically setting while connecting to the wireless router, which is a common default setting, the device will connect to the router automatically without any user input. These devices would have to be in close proximity of the router to be shown on the MAC address log. The data previously stored on the wireless router located at 1122 King Road and preserved by Charter may show individual MAC addresses of devices connected to the device. If the suspect had previously connected to the wireless router, was in close proximity to the wireless router located at the residence, this device may have automatically connected and will appear on the address logs. This could provide evidence of when a device was in close proximity of the router on the night that Madison, Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, Sandra Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were murdered. I requested the assistance of the Latah County Prosecutor's Office in applying for a warrant to serve on Charter for the data records preserved and stored at Charter Communications associated with the Spectrum wireless router, serial number blah blah blah, MAC ID blah blah blah, Spectrum cable modem with MAC ID blah blah blah, serial number blah blah blah, from the time frame of September 14th, 2022 to November 14th, 2022. On November 21st, 2022, I was granted a warrant for the data preserved by Charter and served the warrant at approximately 20:39 hours via email to austinmcneil@charter.com. On November 22nd, 2022, I received an email from McNeil stating the files were ready to download via the Charter portal. I logged into the portal, downloaded the files, and saved them to a computer in the secure forensic lab at the Moscow Police Department. I completed the warrant return, receipt, and affidavit. These documents were sent to the McNeil prosecutor's office to be returned to the court. I also emailed a copy of the receipt to Charter, as this was the originating email address associated with the documents. Okay. Decor's phone warrant. All right, we're going to get into Jack Decor's phone warrant. Hang on, friends. I got to go grab my glasses. Hope everybody's having a great night. Happy New Year. It says there's 150 of you here. Holy shit. Thumbs it up, thumbs it down. Follow your heart, not your frown. I got to grab my glasses. Okay. All right. So sorry about that. I needed to go get my glasses and give my eyes a break for 1 minute. My eyeballs are literally burning out of my face, but it's okay. It's okay. All right. So let's see. Yeah, redacted. Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. He's explaining how it works when you connect your phone or a device to somebody else's Wi-Fi. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking, Kat. That's exactly what I was thinking. Can you imagine everything we've been watching from 1112 footage was watched all weekend and most likely manipulated? Yeah, agreed. Agreed. Sure. I can definitely get on board with that. That's precisely where my freaking brain was at, you know? All right. So let's get into Jack DeCore's phone warrant here. Lawrence Mowry. November 17th, 2022, Jack DeCore was interviewed by Sergeant Mike Van Leuven from the Idaho State Police at the ISP District 1 office. At that time, he provided his phone to Sergeant Van Leuven along with consent to search the phone. That phone is an iPhone XR with an IMEI number, blah, 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 transported to the Coeur d'Alene Police Department Forensic Lab in Coeur d'Alene. I applied for and was granted a search warrant to access the contents of the iPhone. The phone was to be extracted by Detective Dustin Taylor of the Coeur d'Alene Police Department. Detective Mike Van Leuven had taken the phone to Dustin Taylor at the Computer Forensics Lab at Coeur d'Alene Police Department. I emailed a copy of the warrant to him at 16:43 hours on November 17th. On November 18th, 2022, while confirming Detective Taylor received the warrant, I was informed the phone was no longer at the Coeur d'Alene Police Department. Idaho State Police Lieutenant Paul Berger picked up the phone from Taylor and delivered it to the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, where investigative analyst Vince Gimno received it. The data on the phone was forensically extracted at that location. Sidebar. Sidebar. Who, you know, Jack DeCore, who the fuck does his family know that the Idaho State Police lieutenant is picking up his phone? Right? Taking it from Detective Taylor at the Coeur d'Alene Police Department. Who does Jack know? That he's got pull like that, huh? His parents must know somebody. That the actual Idaho State Police lieutenant himself goes and picks your phone up from a detective at another department to bring it to the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, where investigative analyst Vince Gimno received it. And the phone was forensically extracted at that location. So his phone was forensically extracted at the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. Even though Detective Taylor, wonder if there's any relation. Wonder if there's any relation. Maybe that's why Idaho State Police Lieutenant Paul Berger had to go pick up the phone from this Detective Taylor here. Maybe this Detective Taylor is related to Attorney Taylor. They were like, oh, fuck no, man. We can't let that guy have it. It can't be that guy doing the extraction. No fucking way. I'm kidding, friends. I'm kidding. On November 19th, 2022, Idaho State Police Detective Rich Alderson retrieved the phone from the forensic lab and delivered the phone to Decor's mother, per the attorney's wishes. Okay. On November 21st, 2022, Detective Anderson of the Idaho State Police provided Sergeant Van Leuven with a USB drive containing the extraction. Sergeant Van Leuven then provided the USB drive to me, and it was placed into the secure forensic lab at the Moscow Police Department. An examination will be completed at my earliest convenience. Since the warrant was not served, I did not complete a warrant return. Oh, yeah, okay. Court documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. Okay, interesting. Okay. Next, initial interviews. Okay. Do we really have to get into these interviews again? Well, we might as well. All right. Okay, friends. Now we're going to get into the interviews. Great. Sorry, I need to take a sip of my drink. Taratha. Yeah, I'm not afraid to read them. Hey, it's not my job to redact them. I don't even know what they were going to redact, what they weren't going to redact. I have no idea. What I do know is the Idaho taxpayers pay these people far too much money to be this incompetent. That's what I do know. Okie dokie, Lisa. Hello. Hello. Good to see you. Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, exactly. Lucy. Mm-hmm. Isn't it interesting, though, huh? Jack Decor's got some pull. He's got some pull. He's got the lieutenant of the Idaho State Police showing up and taking his phone like, nope, it's going to Spokane. Maybe his lawyer requested it be done in Spokane, that the extraction be done in Spokane. I have no idea. I just think it's very, very interesting. Mittens for kittens. Hello. You just got home. Well, welcome in, honey. Welcome in. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Interesting, though, huh? You got some pull when the lieutenant shows up like, hey, don't worry, buddy. I got you. I got you, buddy. Okay. Here we go. On November 13th, 2022, I was directed to interview potential witnesses in regards to the incidents at 1122 King Road. The following interviews were conducted at the Moscow Police Department. Interview 1. Dylan Mortensen, date of birth, September 26, 2003. Phone number 208-283-4782. On November 13th, 2022, Dylan Mortensen was interviewed in regard to the homicide investigation at 1122 King Road. Dylan said she was a resident of the house where the incident occurred. Dylan said she was at a Sigma Chi party at around 10:30 on November 12th, 2022, where she was drinking. Dylan said she went to Allie's house. Dylan said she went to Allie's house. Dylan said she believes she arrived home at around midnight, 12:30 or 1 o'clock on November 13th. Dylan said she thought Bethany arrived home around 20 minutes after she did. Dylan said she believed Maddie and Kaylee arrived home at around 1:30 or 2 on November 13th. Dylan said up to this, nothing weird had happened during the night. Dylan said she and her friend Lakeland came home, followed by Bethany from Sigma Chai. And yes, I say Sigma Chai, like chai latte, because those motherfuckers are soft like a chai latte. So that's why I don't say Sigma Chi. I know how to pronounce it properly. I call them chai on purpose, just so we're clear. Just wanted everybody to know that. I do know how to pronounce it. I know it's Sigma Chi. I call them Sigma Chai on purpose because they're soft like a chai latte. They're fake and gay like a chai latte. It's too late. I need sleep. I'm gonna start getting weird, friends. Gonna start getting weird. Okay. So Dylan said she and her friend Lake, whatever, came home, followed by Bethany. Lake, Dylan said Lake lived at the Pi Beta Phi house and Bethany was her roommate at the residence. Dylan said when Maddie Mogan and Kaylee Gonsalves came home from the corner club at the same time and everyone went to bed. Dylan was asked about the layout of her house. Dylan said Kaylee's room was directly above her room. Dylan said she lived on the second floor and Kaylee lived on the third. Dylan said Kaylee and Maddie both lived upstairs on the third floor in separate rooms. Dylan said Xana lived closest to the bathroom on the second floor and Bethany lived on the first. When asked about Murphy, Dylan said it was a dog owned in common between Kaylee and her ex-boyfriend, Jack. Dylan said there were no apparent issues between Kaylee and Jack. Dylan said Maddie had a boyfriend named Jake Schreger, who was in Boise at the time of the incident. Dylan indicated Xana was dating Ethan Chapin, who was in the room with her at the time of the incident. Dylan did not know of anyone who would want to hurt Ethan when she was asked. Dylan was asked if she saw any cars in the area that should not be there. Dylan said, "No, I was not really looking at that." Dylan said she woke up at around 4 a.m. on November 13th, where she could hear Kate. Look at how he put, look, where she could hear Kaylee and Murphy, the dog, dancing. Here, he spelled it Here. You pay them too much. You literally pay them too much to be this stupid, Idaho. You pay them too much. Dylan said she woke up at around 4 a.m. on November 13th, where she could hear Kaylee and Murphy, hear Here, not Hear, Here, where she could hear Kaylee and Murphy, the dog, dancing. Interesting. Dylan said she knew it was Kaylee because she recognized her voice and she could hear Murphy barking. Okay. Dylan said she heard Kaylee go upstairs and say, quote, "There is someone here," end quote. Dylan said, thought she heard. Dylan said, thought she heard. Not Dylan said she thought she heard. Dylan said, thought she heard Kaylee run back down the stairs. Dylan said Kaylee sounded scared when she made this statement. Dylan said at this time she jumped up and locked the door because she did not know what else to do. Dylan said she called out Kaylee's name and did not indicate if she got a response. Dylan said she then tried to call Kaylee, Xana, and Maddie on their phones. Dylan was asked if she saw anyone come downstairs or heard anything. Dylan said, "No, I don't even know how they got in. We're usually pretty good about locking doors and never had any problems before. It was just really random." Quote, Dylan said, quote, "No, I don't even know how they got in." They? They? I thought it was only one person. That's right. This whole case is fake and gay. Taratha, you're right. 100%. The whole thing is fake and gay. Isn't that what Candace Owens calls everything? Everything is fake and gay, right? So that's where we're at. Interesting, though. Dylan says, I don't know how they got in. I don't even know how they got in. We're usually pretty good about locking doors. Who's they? Who's they? I thought it was only one person. Hmm. Hmm. I thought it was a lone perp. Dylan was asked if she saw anyone come downstairs or heard anything. Dylan said, no, I don't even know how they got in. We're usually pretty good about locking doors and never had problems before. It was just really random. When asked about the series of events, Dylan said she opened the door when she cried out to Kaylee, then closed the door because she was scared. Dylan said she then opened the door again and heard who she thought was Kaylee, but could have been Xana, crying in the bathroom. Dylan said she then heard a man's voice say, quote, it's okay, I'm going to help you, end quote. Dylan said it was weird because the statement was not in a nice way and the voice was one she had never heard before. Dylan said she called out to Kaylee again, and there was no crying after, and she did not know what happened after that. Dylan said she opened the door again and, quote, the guy is right there. Dylan described the male as approximately her height, 5'10" or a few inches taller, not skinny, but athletic build. Dylan said the suspect was wearing all black with masks that covered just his forehead and goes around his face. Dylan showed with her hands the mask exposed his nose but covered the mouth. Dylan said she believed the suspect was white, but did not remember eyebrow color. Did not remember eyebrow color or what his eyes looked like. Dylan said when she saw the suspect, he saw her and just left. Dylan said she believed he was holding something near his stomach or belt line. Dylan used both hands to point straight out from her abdomen. Dylan then moved her hands apart and back together to simulate a bulge. Dylan said this area was black in color and she thought now maybe it was a gun. Dylan said the unknown object had an arrow shape. Dylan seemed really unsure and said she was tired during the event. So Dylan said this area was black in color and she thought now that maybe it was a gun. Interesting. Interesting. Hmm. 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 Dylan was asked how long she believed it was from the time Kaylee said, quote, someone is here, to when she saw the suspect. Dylan said she thought it was about 10 or 20 minutes. Well, holy shit. We got a problem. It's a big problem. 10 to 20 minutes, huh? From the time you heard Kaylee say someone's here to the time you see the guy, it's 10 to 20 minutes, huh? Oh, boy. Dylan went on to say she was, quote, in and out of it, and she did not fully remember the incident. Dylan was asked where the suspect was at in the residence when Dylan saw him. Dylan said the suspect was between her bedroom door and the kitchen. Dylan said she remembered watching the suspect go out the kitchen door and leave. I thought you locked it. I thought you locked your door because you were so scared. Dylan said at this time she closed her door and locked it as fast as she could. Dylan said the suspect did not walk towards her or say anything. Well, Dylan, unfortunately, honey, you have no line of sight. from your bedroom door to the kitchen, to that slider. You just don't, right? So you couldn't have watched him walk out. You could not. She remembered watching the suspect go out the kitchen door and leave. You couldn't have. You just couldn't have. You would have to be standing in the hallway to see that. If you're standing in her inside of her bedroom with the door cracked, you have no line of sight to the slider. You'd have to be outside of your bedroom door in order to watch this suspect go out the kitchen door. It is what it is. We all know the layout of the house. We all know the layout of the house. If she is standing inside the room with the door cracked, she has no line of sight to the slider. None. So, interesting. Hopefully my audio is holding up, friends. Holy shit. Dylan said once the suspect left, she immediately called Bethany. Dylan said Bethany informed her she heard a sound that sounded like a firework. Dylan then said she told Bethany she called everyone and they're not answering. Dylan said she was in and out of it and believed everyone was just asleep. Dylan said she then went to Bethany's room, locked the door, and went to bed. Dylan said she woke up at around 11 or 12 and called her roommates and no one answered. Dylan said she called Hunter. Hunter came to the residence, went upstairs, and told Dylan they needed to call law enforcement immediately. Dylan was asked if there was anything else she wanted to share. Dylan said the noise that Bethany described, the noise as a loud boom, but Dylan did not hear it. Dylan was asked if any of her roommates shared any weird experiences in the last couple of weeks or calls or texts. Dylan said no, it's been all normal. Nothing weird at all. Nothing really weird happens in Moscow, usually, end quote. When asked if there were any altercations at the Sigma Chi party, Dylan said no, everything was normal. Dylan mentioned again she was with Dylan and Xana at the party. Dylan mentioned again she was with Dylan and Xana at the party. I'm not making this up. This is how it's typed, friends. This is how it's typed. They're paid too much money to be this stupid. Dylan mentioned again she was with Dylan and Xana at the party. Dylan was asked if anyone was having sexual relations with anyone that they shouldn't be. Dylan said no. I think Dylan's lying. Dylan brought up an incident which occurred about a month prior. Dylan said she and Bethany remembered Kaylee saw a shadow while she was taking Murphy at side. While she was taking Murphy at side. You pay them too much money, Idaho residents. Not taking Murphy outside, taking Murphy at side. Okay? At side. Dylan said Kaylee also mentioned when she was at Winco 2 or 3 weeks prior, an individual was following her. Dylan also said she arrived home one time and the door to the residence at 1122 King Road was found open. Dylan said she did not believe the slider door was locked the night of November 12th, 2022. Dylan said she not heard. Dylan said she hear Murphy barking a lot around 4 a.m. on the 13th when Kaylee went upstairs. Dylan said she heard Murphy go outside barking as well. Dylan said she heard Murphy go outside barking as well. Dylan was unsure if Murphy would chase the suspect outside. Dylan said she did not remember if the suspect who ran left the slider open. What? Oh my God almighty. Let me come back over to chat real quick before we get into Hunter Johnson here. Big Mikey, hello. Good to see you. Big Mikey in the house. Angela, hello. What does that say? Redact all facts, Idaho. Jilly, hello. How you doing? Welcome on in. Angela Luster, hello. Good to see you. If I'm missing anybody, I'm so very sorry. I'm trying to keep an eye on my chat, but when I'm in another window reading, you guys know I'm in another window. I can't see my chat. Hopefully, you guys are staying kind, behaving yourselves. Oh, good. Lucy's still here. Okay. Thought I saw Elisanda somewhere in here earlier. I don't know where she is now. Elantra Bug Guard, hello. Good to see you. Yvonne. I don't know where Yvonne is. I thought I saw Yvonne here earlier. Dinah or Dina, hello. What happened to all of them up in Maddie's room or in Kaylee's room talking? Yeah, no shit, right? No shit. Don't know what happened to that. It must have she forgot about it, I guess, when she was talking to Maori. She forgot all about it, I guess. Jessie, darling, hello. There's Yvonne. See, she's here. Yvonne's usually listening. Yes, exactly. Jesse, I agree with you on that, honey. Dylan wasn't scared. She slipped up by telling the truth, by telling the truth, saying she was out of her room and she watched the person leave out the kitchen slider, right? Because she has no line of sight from inside of her room with the door cracked to that slider. She had to be outside of it. And isn't that interesting that if it's her standing outside of her door watching the perpetrator leave, and we have this latent van style shoe print right on the threshold of her door, that's about where you'd need to be standing to watch a perpetrator leave out the slider. You'd have to be halfway like out of her bedroom door and like standing and almost like leaning out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So you could be leaning out to peek to see, like, is it done? Is it all over? Can I come out now? I'm just saying, don't listen to me. I don't know shit. Kane B, what up? Hello. How are you? Good to see you, Kane. Welcome on in. Always good to see you, friend. Hope you're having a good night. I know it's a Friday night. You're probably working your butt off, so I hope you make $1 million. That's what I hope. I hope you make $1 million, Kane. Living Dead Girl, hello. First time and alive. Dago sent you. Well, that's amazing. Welcome in, Living Dead Girl. Tell Dago I said hello. Momo, hello. Hello. Yeah, exactly, right, Lucy? Mm-hmm. You would think she would have got blasted with Arctic, frigid, freaking cold air, but, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. We're just gonna read these docs and witch cackle and fucking point and laugh because, honestly, the only thing you can do is laugh, because if you don't laugh at it, you're gonna cry or scream or crash out. So, all right, let's get into we're only on page 17, and this is 115 pages. Fuck my life. I'm only going to make it till about 11 o'clock, friends. I've been up since 4 a.m., okay? Not only did I have to work my ass this morning, after I did my live this morning, I worked, but then I also tried to do another live today, and that was awful. Deleted that one. Tried it again a little while ago. Had to fucking put that one to members only. So here we are. We're going to get through as much as we can get through tonight, and I promise you we'll do it again tomorrow night, and then we'll do it again the next night until it's all done. Okay, friends? Your girl's a trooper. And one way or another, I'll figure it out. You know, I always will. I think what I have to do is just kind of wait till late nights. Unfortunately, I don't think I can do early morning streams unless I'm on my phone. Um, and if I'm going to do anything at home on the laptop, I really have to do this shit late night. I don't know why. It always gives me problems during the day, bro. No problems at night. No one's attacking Dylan. No one is attacking Dylan. I'm not attacking Dylan. Elantra Bug Guard said someone's attacking Dylan. I don't even see the comment anymore. And you know what? I'm too tired to go find it. So yeah, no. All right, so Hunter Johnson, huh? Let's get into Hunter Johnson here. Interview 2, Hunter Johnson. Date of birth, November 17th, 1999. Son of a bitch, November 17th, huh? His birthday. So his birthday was just 4 days after this crime. Look at where he was living. 621 West Taylor Ave, apartment 1, right? The Whites. Phone number 208-277-8709. This is where we're at right here. I'm going to start here. Interview 2, Hunter Johnson. Hunter said around midnight on November 13th, Dylan. Wait a minute. That can't be midnight. That's 12 p.m. My bad. That's 12 in the afternoon. Hunter said around 12 in the afternoon on November 13th, Dylan called Emily, Hunter's girlfriend. Dylan told Emily she thought something, quote, was not right in her house, end quote. Dylan also told Emily she heard or saw a man in her house the night prior. Dylan asked Emily and Hunter to come over and make sure everything was okay because she locked herself in Bethany's room. Hunter said he was the first person to get to the residence. Hunter said he entered the code to the front door where Bethany and Dylan were in Bethany's room on the first floor. Dylan and Bethany were telling Hunter they did not know what was going on. Hunter said he went up the stairs and immediately went into Xana's room. Hunter said this was the only room he went into. Hunter said when he approached the door, it was only partially open. Hunter said when he opened it, he saw Xana and Ethan. Hunter said he initially did not realize all the blood was dried blood in the room. Hunter said he thought at first they had been drunk and left a mess. Hunter said when he stood there for a moment and began to realize what he was seeing. Hunter said Bethany and Dylan were uncontrollably crying. Why? If they didn't see anything, what are they crying about? What are they crying about if they just went to bed because they thought it was nothing? What are they uncontrollably crying about? If they don't know what's going on and they have no idea what's happening. Hunter said Bethany and Dylan were uncontrollably crying. Hunter said he told them to get out of the house and call law enforcement. Hunter said he then went to the kitchen and grabbed a knife from the drawer. Knife from the drawer. So the knife that was on the floor and then on the beer pong table, where'd that come from? Where'd that knife come from? Hunter said he then went to the kitchen and grabbed a knife from the drawer. Hunter said he then went into the room and checked the closet to make sure there was not anyone else in the room. Hunter said he checked for a pulse on both Xana and Ethan. Hunter said both of the bodies had rigor mortis and were cold with no breath or pulse. Hunter said he believed the two had been deceased for a while. Hunter said he believed he left the knife on the folding table in the living room. Hunter said Emily, Josie, and Lyndon started to enter the house and come up the stairs. Hunter told them to get out of the residence. Hunter said this was about the time Moscow Police Department arrived on scene. So Emily, Josie, and Lyndon all showed up to walk into the house, huh? Hunter said this was about the time MPD arrived on scene. Hunter said the officer told him to stay where he was at. Hunter said he did not know if anyone else was upstairs as he had not gone anywhere else in the house. Hunter said he had trouble comprehending what he was seeing. Hunter said he was not at the Sigma Chi party the night before. Hunter said he and Ethan were texting the night prior on November 12th by phone. Hunter said Ethan wanted him to come over, but Hunter chose not to. Hunter said he knew Ethan since fall of 2021. Hunter said he was in Pi Delta Theta, and Ethan was a member of Sigma Chi. Hunter indicated Josie and Emily were in the same sorority and were roommates. Hunter said Lyndon, who was also present, was in the fraternity Delta Tau Delta and was currently dating Josie. Hunter said he and Lyndon stayed at Josie's apartment with Emily and Josie the night of November 12th. Hunter was asked when was the last time he was at 1122 King Road. Josie and Lyndon. Lyndon's that motherfucker with, hang on, let me go look at something real quick. Hang on. I don't need to go look at it. Lucy, darling, Lyndon is the one that wears the cowboy hat with like the bushiest motherfucking eyebrows you'll ever see in your life, right? Like Saeed. That's Lyndon. Josie's the little brunette girl, right? Weren't they also the ones that were at the grub truck that pull away in the white car? When we finally get the footage from the St. Andrews footage, it shows the opposite side of the street, but it's looking at the grub truck, and you can see the white car. Isn't Josie the one that, like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I could have sworn that's all of the people who hopped into that white car and left the grub truck. And I could have sworn Lyndon is the kid that wears the cowboy hats, and he has literally some of the thickest, bushiest eyebrows I have ever seen in my life, compared to Saeed. Like, he's right up there with Saeed. Yeah, I'm almost positive. It's the same person I'm thinking of. So they all stayed together at Emily's, huh? Interesting. Hunter said he and Lyndon stayed at Josie's apartment with Emily and Josie the night of November 12th. Hunter indicated he was last at the residence on November 12th, where he was, quote, pre-gaming for the Vandals football game, end quote. Hunter said he got to the residence around 12 or 1300 hours and left about 1430 to go to a different party. Hunter said the last time Emily was at 1122 King Road was Friday, 11/11. Hunter did not know of anyone who had issues with Ethan and Xana dating. Hunter estimated Xana and Ethan were dating for about 8 months. Hunter said he knew Xana very well through his girlfriend Emily. Hunter said he was not very familiar with Maddie or Kaylee. Hunter allowed pictures to be taken of his phone of the conversations between him and Ethan. Hunter allowed pictures to be taken of his phone of the conversations between him and Ethan. You didn't just seize his phone? What do you mean he allowed you to take photos? You get a search warrant and you seize that motherfucker. This isn't hard. He's standing in the middle of your crime scene holding a fucking knife where there's 4 dead bodies. You have probable cause to seize his phone. Oh my God. Jenna McClure, interview number 3. Date of birth, July 9th, 2003. Phone number 208-890-8109. Address 507 Idaho Ave. Jenna said she texted Bethany at 11:20 on the morning of November 13th. Jenna asked if Bethany was awake. Jenna said Bethany called her back at 11:49. Bethany told Jenna she and Dylan were in Bethany's room. Jenna said Bethany was freaked out because her roommates were not answering the phone. Jenna said she heard Dylan on the phone in the background saying, quote, "I saw something." Jenna said Bethany asked her to come over to 1122 King Road and pick her up. Jenna said Bethany texted her while she was driving there and said Emily and Hunter were on the way as well. Jenna said as she arrived, MPD units were arriving as well. Jenna said she did not go to the Sigma Chi party, but went to a different one instead. Jenna said Bethany and Dylan came to this other party after she left Sigma Chi. Jenna said Bethany and Dylan came to this other party after she left Sigma Chi. Jenna estimated Dylan left her party at around 12:30 and Bethany left her party at around 1 on November 13th. Jenna said she was in Pi Beta Phi with Dylan, Lake, Bethany, and Xana. Jenna said Xana and Maddie were both in Pi Beta Phi, but they dropped out, and Kaylee was an Alpha Phi, but also dropped out as well. Jenna suspected the girls dropped their respective sororities because of issues with other girls in the houses. Jenna specifically cited girls on the quote executive board end quote who tell other members what to do. Jenna suspected this was what they did not like. Jenna confirmed that she, Lake, Bethany, and Dylan were still active members in Pi Beta Phi. Jenna said the girls who were still active members of the sorority who chose not to live in the house did so because of money issues. Jenna said Maddie was Bethany's big sister in the sorority house. Jenna said she knew Kaylee, saw a dark figure staring at her from the tree line when she took her dog Murphy out to pee. Jenna said this occurred about a month ago at 1122 King Road. Jenna said there has been a lighthearted talk and jokes made about a stalker in the past. Jenna said all the girls were slightly nervous about it being a fact, though. Jenna did not indicate any social media issues or issues between the girls who lived together. Jenna there was no issue with the girls from Pi Beta Phi sorority and the residents at 1122 King Road. Jenna said the front door had issues with locking and sometimes it could be opened without a code. Jenna said she did not know the code to the front door. Jenna said she was unsure if the residents kept the back sliding door locked regularly. Interview number 4, Lyndon Beck. Date of birth, November 24th, 2002. Phone number 208-995-4114. Address 720 Idaho Ave, Delta Tau Delta. Lyndon said he did not go to the Sigma Chi party. Lyndon said he went to sleep. At around 8 o'clock on November 12th at Josie's apartment on Taylor Ave. Lyndon said he woke up around 2 or 3. Lyndon said he, Josie, and Emily were up talking in the living room of the apartment till about 5 o'clock on November 13th. Interesting. So he went to sleep at around 8 p.m. and then he woke up around 2 or 3 in the morning, where he then stayed up with Josie and Emily talking in the living room until about 5 a.m. Lyndon indicated Hunter was present but not awake at this time. Lyndon said, look at it's twice. Lyndon said, they all went to bed at this time and woke up again around what he thought was 9 o'clock. Lyndon said Hunter and Emily came into the room where he and Josie were. Lyndon said Dylan had called Emily around 10 o'clock and sounded scared. Lyndon said that Dylan called Emily around 10 o'clock and sounded scared. Lyndon said that Dylan told Emily someone had been in her house last night. Lyndon said Dylan and Bethany ran downstairs and locked themselves in a room. Lyndon said Dylan informed them she did this because of her seeing someone in the house, and Dylan could only see his nose and his chin. Lyndon said Dylan was freaking out and wanted them to come over to 1122 King. Lyndon said he walked with Emily, Josie. Lyndon said he walked with Emily and Josie to 1122 King Road from Josie's apartment on Taylor Ave. Lyndon said that Dylan and Bethany walked out of the house crying. Lyndon said Hunter arrived to the residence first because he left before them. Lyndon said he went into the downstairs door and Hunter told him not to come up the stairs. Lyndon said he did not know Ethan very well. Lyndon said he did not recall any talk between Xana and Josie about boy issues. Lyndon said he did not see anything on social media. Lyndon recalled an incident from about a month prior where Dylan said there was a guy stalking her. Dylan said there was a guy stalking her. Lyndon said he did not hear anything from the night prior. Okay. Oh my God. Snapchat warrants. Here we go. Oh my gosh, how you holding up, friends? Let me come back to chat for a minute. How's the audio holding up? Hopefully my audio is holding up. Okay. Hi, everyone. Hi, Paco. Hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hopefully everybody's having a great night. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Who is Lyndon? Lyndon is Josie's boyfriend at the time of the crime. Okie dokie, Lisa. All right, so let's get into these Snapchat warrants here. On November 21st, 2022, I requested and was granted a warrant for Snap Inc., Snapchat, for the accounts associated with the following identifiers. Maddie Mae Mogan, Xana 1019, Kaylee, Ethan Chapin, 4, then a phone number for Jack Decor, a phone number for Dylan Mortensen, and a phone number for Bethany Funk. On November 21st at approximately 1827, I logged into the Snap Inc. law enforcement portal and served the warrants. I received an email from support at Snapchat providing me with the internal case ID. This is the internal case ID for Snapchat and the other case ID for Snapchat. On November 28th, 2022, Snap Inc. sent 2 emails stating that the files were ready to be downloaded. On November 29th, I logged into the portal and downloaded the files provided pursuant to the warrant. These files were downloaded to a computer in the secured computer forensics lab at the Moscow Police Department. An examination of the data will be conducted at my earliest convenience. I completed the warrant return receipt and affidavit. These documents were also sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. I also emailed a copy of the receipt to Snap, as this was the originating email address associated with the documents. Cell phone warrant return. On November 17, 2022, I began to receive data from the cell phone providers in response to the warrants served on them. At approximately 13:52, I received an email from mailsfnotifications.com informing me the files from Verizon for the requested phone call detail records and tower dump data was ready to be downloaded. I logged into the share file portal and downloaded the corresponding files. I completed the warrant return receipt and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. At approximately 15:30 hours, I received an email from Bennett of unsealed. This email is containing the data regarding. I returned receipt. These documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office. I also emailed a copy of the receipt to Randy Bennett. This was the originating email. At approximately 15:30, I received an email from AT&T informing me the files from AT&T for the requested phone call detail records and tower dump data. I logged into the Global Legal Demand Center portal and downloaded the corresponding files. I completed the warrant return receipt and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. Again, Global Legal Demand Center. On November 18, 2022, at approximately 13:23, I received 2 emails from T-Mobile. These emails included files containing data. Okay, that requested, it's the same shit, forwarded it to the prosecutor, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. T-Mobile amended warrant. On November 26, 2022, I requested and was granted an amended T-Mobile tower dump data warrant to include devices within a 2-mile radius. The original warrant only included 0.5 miles. On November 26, 2022, at approximately 20:59, the warrant was served on T-Mobile via the email. On November 28, 2022, I received an email with the files provided pursuant to the warrant. These files were downloaded to a computer in the secured computer forensics lab at the Moscow Police Department. Examination of the data will be conducted at my earliest convenience. I completed the warrant, return receipt, and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Ada County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. Blah, blah, blah. Witness phones. Witness phones. Okay, you know what, friends? What time is it? It's 10:35. I need to use the restroom real quick. I'm going to mute for 1 minute, and I need to go pee, okay? Chat amongst yourselves. I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to put on some elevator music for you. James Moen, well, thank you, sir. Thank you for donating to the fucking grift, my friend. Thank you. We're just over here grifting for Ada County Courthouse. We're grifting for Hitler. Thank you for contributing to the grift, my friend. Good looking out, sir. Hope you're having a great fucking day, friend. Really do. All the F-bombs are just for you, James Moen. But I gotta go use the restroom, so I'm gonna put on some elevator music for you for a minute, and I'll be right back, friends. Okay, we are back. We are back. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Hope you enjoyed the music. It's always so funny to me when I say I'm going to put on some elevator music for you. Hysterical. I don't know why it cracks me up, but it does. And then I give you the most boring music ever. All right. Thank you, James Moen, again for contributing to the Grift, friend. Really appreciate it. All right. So let's see. Da, 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 da. Where were we? Witnesses' phones. All right. Okay. Yeah, there you go, right? Damn it, Lyndon. You weren't supposed to say that someone called at 10 a.m. Oopsie poopsie, Lyndon. You guys should have worked better on your stories, man. Ruby, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. Let's get back over here. All right. So we are at witnesses' phones. We are still in the supplemental report for Maori, if anyone's confused. On November 13th, 2022, I was directed to interview potential witnesses in regards to the incidents at 1122 King Road. During this process, I was tasked with extracting data from the following phones: Dylan Mortensen, Bethany Funk, Jack DeCore, Emily Alant, and Maisie Chapin. I received signed consent forms from Mortensen, DeCore, Alant, and Chapin. I was informed by Corporal Brett Payne that Funk provided verbal consent for her phone to be extracted. The phones were extracted using the following forensic software: UFED Cellbrite and Magnet Axiom. Upon completion of the extractions, the phones were returned to their owner as promptly as possible. The data extracted was saved to a computer located in the Secure Forensic Computer Lab at the Moscow Police Department. Forensic examination on the phones will be completed at my earliest convenience. Next one is the iCloud warrant service. On November 18th, 2022, I applied for and was granted warrants for the iCloud accounts with the following identifiers: Beth, NEFC3 at yahoo.com. And then we have 2 phone numbers here with 1 IMEI. 2 phone numbers, 1 IMEI. Holy shit. Right, brain? Lucy, darling, are you still here? Right, brain? 2 phone numbers, 1 IMEI. Where have we heard that before? Right, brain? Darling, if you're still here, is for fuck's sake Fitziana still here? And does anybody else remember where we've heard before 2 phone numbers, 1 IMEI? Anyone? Lucy, there you are, darling. Right, brain. Where have we heard this before? 2 phone numbers, 1 IMEI. Where did we hear that? Google Warrant 1. Google Warrant 1. My biggest brainworm. 2 phone numbers, 1 IMEI. Google Warrant 1. The feds were trying to say that Kohberger had 2 devices registered to a Google account with 1 IMEI. 2 phone numbers, 1 IMEI. Interesting. Interesting. Beth, NEFC3 at yahoo.com, and there's 2 phone numbers, 1 IMEI. Then we have one here for Dylan M. 26 at iCloud.com, one phone number with 3 IMEIs. On November 19th, 2022, I applied for and was granted a warrant for the iCloud account with the following identifiers. Jack CDA at Yahoo, so Jack Decor, one phone number, one IMEI. Interesting. So Bethany's the only one here, huh? 2 phone numbers, 1 IMEI. Interesting. Two phone numbers, 1 IMEI. She's the only one. 2 phone numbers and 1 IMEI. Interesting. On November 21st, 2022, I applied for and was granted warrants for the iCloud accounts with the following identifiers. Kaylee, Maddie, 1 IMEI. Interesting. EthanBasketball4 at gmail.com, 1 IMEI. Xander Kernodal, 1 IMEI. These warrants were served via email at lawenforcement@apple.com. On November 21st, 2022, I received an email from Apple stating the data for the iCloud accounts associated with Jack CDA at yahoo.com and Beth NEFC3 at Yahoo were available to download. I downloaded the links to the files and began downloading the files to the forensic computers located in the secure forensic lab at the Moscow Police Department. On November 22nd, 2022, I received an email from Apple stating the data for the iCloud account associated with Dylan were available to download. Downloaded the links to the files, blah, 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 saved them at the secure forensic computer lab. On November 23rd, 2022, I received an email from Apple stating the data for the iCloud accounts associated with Xana and Maddie were available to download. Downloaded the links and the files, blah, 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 blah. On November 25th, 2022, I received an email from Apple stating the data for the iCloud account associated with Ethan was available. Downloaded the links and the files, blah, blah, blah. On November 29th, 2022, I received an email from Apple stating the data for the iCloud account associated with the phone number 208-640-4818 were available to download. Downloaded the links to the files, began downloading the files, blah, blah, blah. Completed the warrant return, receipt, and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. Also emailed a copy of the receipt to Apple, blah, blah, blah. Tinder warrant. Okay. On November 29th, 2022, I applied for and was granted a warrant for any data associated with Kaylee Gonsalvez's Tinder accounts using the following identifiers. Kaylee Gonsalves with her phone number, Kaylee Gonsalves 35 at Yahoo, and then Kaylee Gonsalves at Gmail. On November 29th, 2022, at approximately 17:09 hours, the warrant was served via email at legaldepartment@match.com. On December 2nd, 2022, November 29th, wait a minute, Tinder? Which one did they sit on till the 5th? I thought they sat on this till the 5th. Which one was the one they sat on till the 5th? Maybe I'm just getting it confused. One of these they sat on till the 5th. I know they did. And I can't remember which one it is. Are we live? Long duck dong. Are we live? I don't know, are we? This isn't a live, this is a premiere. We're not live. It's just a premiere. Yeah, this isn't a live, friend. Sorry. We're not live. Okay, so December 4th, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. On December 2nd, I received an email from Norman Rura, senior paralegal and director of the legal department for Match Group, the parent company for Tinder. In this email, I was directed to use the law enforcement portal and resubmit the warrant. On December 4th, 2022, I registered for access to the portal and received an email stating I was approved to use the portal and serve the warrant. Logged into the alert portal and submitted the warrant again per Rivera's request. On December 5th, 2022, I received an email from Tinder stating the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available to download. Logged into the law enforcement portal and began downloading the files to the forensic computers located in the secure forensic computer lab at the Moscow Police Department. I completed the warrant return receipt and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Ada County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court, blah, blah, blah. Google Geofence 1 warrant. On November 18th, 2022, I applied for and was granted a geofence warrant for any data associated with anonymized information located within the following latitude, longitude points. Special Agent Nick Balance with the FBI assisted in the production and service of the warrant. On November 18th, 2022, at approximately 23:30 hours, the warrant was served email at lurs@google.com. On November 20th, 2022, Special Agent Balance received notice that the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available. The data files were downloaded to the forensic computers located in the secure forensic computer lab at the Moscow Police Department. Based on the information that we received and in correlation with cell tower records previously reviewed, 2 of the anonymous identifiers were found to be of interest. And these are the 2. On November 20th, 2022, I applied for and was granted a warrant for any data associated with the previous identifiers, including subscriber information. Special Agent Nick Balance with the FBI assisted in the production and service of the warrant. On November 20th, 2022, at approximately 22:14 hours, the warrant was served email at lurs@google.com. On November 20th, 2022, Special Agent Balance received notice the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available. The data files were downloaded to the forensic computers located in the secure forensic computer lab at the Moscow Police Department. It was found one of the identifiers came back to the phone number of 208-659-2567. Hold, please. Interesting. Okay, so this phone number here that they're claiming is a phone number of interest, everything that I've looked up for this person, this is the person's name. I mean, whatever it is, what it is, you guys are going to find it on your own anyway. The name that this number keeps coming back to is to a Bradley J. Slater. Previous address is 880 East Chilco Road in Rathdrum, Idaho. So that's super interesting that this number comes back to someone from Rathdrum, Idaho. Just wanted to put that out there. I don't know, because I know that one of the pranks that these kids like to play on each other was spoofing other people's fucking phone numbers to text a friend and say, haha, I can see you, or whatever. I'm watching you. I can see you taking bong rips, blah, 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 right? So, super interesting. I don't know if this is a spoofing situation. I don't know what this is, but this phone number of interest here belongs to a gentleman by the name of Bradley Slater, who is either from Rathdrum or used to live in Rathdrum. I'm not sure. It could be an old phone number. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes they recycle a phone number, like when you close an account or whatever, or you cancel your phone number, it then gets recycled. I don't know if this is one of those spoofing things. I don't know if this is through one of those text now, you know, those like apps that you can use to make phone calls and text people, but it's not. You have to be connected to the Wi-Fi or whatever to do it. It's not like a real phone number. Bradley Slater. That's what I keep getting. Um, Slayter. Yep. 208-659-2567. Bradley J. Slater is in their 40s. It says current address is Crown Point, Indiana. I don't know. That's what I mean. Addresses that this guy has are for Indiana and for Rathdrum. So I don't know. No idea. I just know that it's pretty interesting. He has an address associated with him for Rathdrum. But you know, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. So it was found that one of the identifiers came back to the phone number of this, which is either this Bradley person or this is Bradley's old phone number. It's now been assigned to someone else. It could be like an old phone number that now gets recycled on burner phones. Do you get what I'm saying? Like when you just go buy those like burner phones from Walmart or whatever. I don't know. It could be just a recycled phone number. I completed the warrant return, receipt, and affidavit. The documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. Also emailed a copy of the receipt to Google, blah, blah, blah. Meta warrants. On November 21st, 2022, I requested and was granted a warrant from Meta, the parent company for Facebook and Instagram, for the accounts associated with the following identifiers. Instagram, Bethany Funk, with that phone number. Instagram for Dylan Mortensen, Instagram for Ethan Chapin, Facebook for Maddie Mogan, Facebook for Xana Kernodle, and then a Facebook with this identifier. On November 21st, 2022, I logged into the Meta Law Enforcement portal located at blah, 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 served the warrants for at the following times. Maddie Mogan, 11:12 hours. Xana Kernodle, 18:03 hours. This identifier here at 20:39 hours. Instagram at 18:20. Okay. During the service of the warrant, I found I was not able to add the phone number of 208-819-2881 as an identifier for Jack Decor's account. This information was not entered into the portal. I received an email from records@records.facebook.com providing me with internal case ID numbers. These are the internal case ID numbers. On November 30th, 2022, Meta sent emails stating the files were ready to download. On November 30th, I logged into the portal and downloaded the files provided pursuant to the warrant. These files were downloaded to a computer in the Secured Computer Forensics Lab at the Moscow Police Department. An examination of the data will be conducted at my earliest convenience. No information was returned for the account associated with this phone number. I completed the warrant return, receipt, and affidavit. Documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office, blah, blah, blah. Victim phone extractions. On November 15, 2022, I contacted Detective Taylor of the Coeur d'Alene Police Department with a request for an agency assist. I requested assistance unlocking the cell phones of Kaylee Gonsalves, Maddie Mogan, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin, the victims in this case. I emailed Detective Taylor a copy of the signed warrant describing the phones as being searchable. On November 16, 2022, the phones were transported to the CDA Police Department for a forensic brute force attempt to unlock them. However, Detective Taylor stated he was not able to extract any information from the locked phones, and the phones were not supported for the brute force PIN code extraction. The phones were then returned to the Moscow Police Department on November 17th. I then asked for assistance from Captain Tyson Barrett, and attempting to gain PIN codes from family members to access the data on the devices. I was provided PIN codes from Mogan, Kernodle, and Chapin, which successfully unlocked the devices. The PIN codes that were provided for Gonsalves' phone did not unlock the device. On the 3 devices I was able to unlock, I performed advanced logical extractions on the devices at the Moscow Police Department. A report for each device will be completed separately. On November 20th, I again requested the assistance of Detective Taylor in gaining a full file system extraction on the 3 unlocked devices. The phones were delivered to the CDA Police Department on November 21st, 2022. On November 22nd, 2022, Detective Taylor stated he would not be able to complete the extractions. On November 23rd, 2022, I went to the CDA Police Department and picked up the phones. I then took them to the Post Falls Police Department and spoke with Detective Neil Uhrig. Detective Uhrig informed me his forensics tools would not support a full file system extraction. On November 25th, 2022, I went to the Walla Walla Police Department and spoke with Detective Chris Ruchert. Detective Ruchert stated her forensics tools would be able to support a full file system extraction on the unlocked devices, and it would be able to complete limited extraction on Gonsalves' locked phone. I left the phones with Detective Ruchert to be extracted. On November 28th, Detective Ruchert informed me the phone extractions were complete and ready to be picked up. On November 29th, 2022, Detective Justin Dean picked up the phones and returned them to the Moscow Police Department. I received the 4 devices and placed them in the secure computer forensics lab. The extracted data was copied to the forensic computers and verified by hash values. An examination of the data will be completed at my earliest convenience. Yahoo warrants. On December 1st, 2022, I applied for and was granted a warrant for any data associated with Kaylee Gonsalves' Yahoo account using the following identifiers: Kaylee Gonsalves 35 at yahoo.com. On December 1st, 2022, at approximately 13:55, the warrant was served via Yahoo Law Enforcement portal. On December 4th, 2022, I received an email from Yahoo stating the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available to download. Received an email with the link to download the data. Logged into the law enforcement portal and began downloading the files to the forensic computers located in the secure computer forensics lab at the Moscow Police Department. I completed the warrant, return, receipt, and affidavit. These documents were sent to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office to be returned to the court. I also emailed a copy of the receipt to Karen Vuxen at Yahoo Inc., as this was the originating email address associated with the documents. Okay, next one, Tinder warrant users. Okay, so we got a few. Let's come back over to chat for a minute. Say hi. Everybody drink, take a stretch. Okay, I'm going to rub my eyeballs for a minute here. Then we're going to go take a little look at these. I'm literally gone cross-eyed. I'm getting tired. This will probably, maybe this will be the last one. I'm going to see if I can get through a few more. It's already 11 o'clock. I literally have to get up at like 5 in the morning. So I'm just going to rub my eyes for a minute. Okay. We're going to take a break. Long duck dong. No, I don't think I've been having any audio problems so far. I was way earlier in my earlier stream, yes, but it's fine. The sound should not be cutting in and out. No, I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm kidding, guys. Yes, we're live. I was kidding when I said it was a premiere. No, we're live. Audio should be fine. I can see it in the background. I can see everything. My audio is totally fine. Audio's not cutting out at all. So, I'm not exactly sure, honey. I'll go back and listen on the replay, but I have not, as far as I know, I haven't had a single problem for the audio for this live. I muted for a minute. I know my sound is good, honey. I can see it in the background. I can check it all in the background. I know my audio is fine right now. So if your audio sounds fucked up for you, maybe you just need to leave the stream, come back in. I don't know what to say. We're definitely live and my audio's not fucked up and I'm not on Wi-Fi. So anyways, yeah, I know. My audio's been totally fine this entire time. I know it has. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. I know. Don't you worry. I know. I know all. Loud and clear from Oklahoma. Dory, hello. How are you, honey? Yeah, put it out like 1.5 speed. Or you can just be replay crew. It's fine. No worries. Good to see you, Dory. Happy Friday, honey. Yeah, I'm not having any problems. It's not me, it's you. This is the one time I can surely say it's not me, it's you. Usually it is me. Okay, so I just had to like rub my eyeballs because they were definitely burning out of my head. Okay, we're going to get back into this. We're going to get back into this. I'm not going to be here much longer anyway, so don't worry, friends. We're only going to, like I said, we're on page 36 of 115. It is what it is. We'll start again. We'll end the night here and we'll pick back up tomorrow night, tonight. It's no big deal. No big deal. All right. So let's see. We have, this is probably going to be the last one. Tinder warrant users. On December 6, 2022, I applied for and was granted a warrant for the user subscriber information associated with the accounts that communicated with Kaylee Gonsalves's Tinder accounts using the following identifiers. So we have all of these identifiers here. We have one guy, Eli Gawthorpe. And then we have another big dude, 2233. So those are the only real names that we're actually getting here. Eli Gawthorpe. Hold, please. Eli Gawthorpe. Oh, he's an wait a minute. Eli Gawthorpe, MMA fighter page. Let's check this out. Eli Gawthorpe, amateur MMA, age 28, date of birth, weight class heavyweight, 1 loss. Oh, he's 6 feet tall. Interesting. 6 foot. Okay. Eli. And he's 6 feet. Let's see if we can get an image here. Let's check out Eli. Eli Gawthorpe. Sorry, guys. Hang on. Just looking at something. There it is. Bowden versus Gawthorpe. Friday, January 8th. Mountain Force MMA. Let's go look at this. Oh. Mountain Force MMA. Eli Gawthorpe. Wonder which one he is. I bet you it's this one. Yep. Wonder which one is him. Austin Bowden versus Eli Gawthorpe. This was December 18th, 2020, Mountain Force MMA. Well, anyways, just wanted to, go be nosy and see who Eli Gawthorpe is. But Eli Gawthorpe was apparently trying to communicate with Kaylee Gonsalves on her Tinder account. So that's interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Eli Gothorpe. Okay. MMA fighter, 6 feet tall, 28 years old. Okay. On December 6, 2022, at approximately 15:19 hours, the warrant was served. On December 7th, I received an email from Tinder stating the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available to download. Logged into the law enforcement portal and began downloading the files, blah, blah, blah. Completed the warrant return receipt and affidavit. Documents were sent to the prosecutor, blah, blah, blah. Tinder warrant for Mogan. December 6, 2022, applied for and was granted a warrant for the user subscriber information associated with the Tinder account for Maddie Mogan, following identifiers, maddiemogan@gmail.com and or phone number 208-661-1224. On December 6th at approximately 15:19, the warrant was served, blah, blah, blah. December 7th, received an email from Tinder stating the data requested pursuant to the warrant was available to download. In reviewing the contents, I found no recent communication with other accounts. The newest communication appears to have happened in 2021. Completed the warrant return, receipt and affidavit. Documents were sent to the prosecutor's office, blah, blah, blah. What's this? DoorDash. Same thing. December 6th, warrant was served. December 7th, got an email containing the data. Files were downloaded, completed the warrant return, documents were sent to the prosecutor, blah, blah, blah. Meta warrants. December 1st, requested an amended warrant for Meta, parent company of Facebook, for the accounts. Okay, this is the amended Meta warrant. Accounts associated with the following: Maddie Mogan, Jack Decor, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle. Okay. December 2nd, I received a signed warrant. On December 4th at approximately 13:31, I logged into the Meta law enforcement portal located at blah, 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 served the warrant. During the service of the warrant, I found I was not able to add the phone number, which is Jack's, as an identifier for Jack Decor. This information was not entered into the portal. What's this for? Facebook. On December 8th, 2022, Meta sent an email stating the files were ready to be downloaded. I logged into the portal and downloaded the files pursuant to the warrant. Files were downloaded to a computer, secure computer forensics lab, blah, 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 fucking sent to the prosecutor's office, blah, blah, blah. Reddit. This is the one they sat on. This is the one they sat on, I think, right? December 1st. Applied for and was granted. Thought the Reddit warrant was the one they sat on till the 5th. No? Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's too late, and I don't care. Let's see. December 1st, 2022, I applied for and was granted a warrant for all information in Reddit's possession consisting of information related to the crime of homicide on the Reddit account of Kaylee Gonsalves. With any of the following identifiers: Kaylee Gonsalves, mobile phone number 208-640-4818, email addresses kayleegonsalves35@yahoo.com and kayleegonsalves@gmail.com, between January 1st, 2021 to December 1st, 2022. So on December 1st, Mowry applied for and was granted a warrant for all information in Reddit's possession consisting of information related to the crime of homicide on the Reddit account of Kaylee from January 1st, 2021 to December 1st, 2022. Interesting. Thumper rabbit hole. Welcome on in. See you. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Leslie and Billy, no way, really? Oh my God, any of you in Denver right now, holy shit. Be safe. There's a great big fire in Denver. 20 blocks have already been evacuated and it's still growing. Oh my God, if any of you are in Denver, please be safe and get the hell out of Dodge. Not only, Angela, is it weird that it goes past November 13th, it's weird that Mowry thinks evidence of the crimes of this homicide is going to be in Kaylee's Reddit. Why would evidence of this crime be in her Reddit? So yeah, that's interesting. They're putting their Reddit warrant in, and it's super interesting. They only get a Reddit warrant for Kaylee. They don't get a Reddit warrant for anyone else, and they believe that information related to the crime of homicide is going to be in Kaylee's Reddit account for the time period of January 1st, 2021 through December 1st, 2022. On December 19th, I received an email from Reddit containing the data requested pursuant to the warrant. Files were downloaded, blah, 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 completed the warrant return, documents were sent to the prosecutor. Hmm. Okay, so where are we? We're on page 43, right? This is where we're going to end it, friends. Okay, this is where we're going to end it, friends. Yeah, what happened? No, I know. I don't know what happened. I was trying to say, sorry, guys, something's happening on my end. Here I am. Here I am. Sorry, guys. Here I am. It's okay. We're going to end it pretty soon anyway. This is going to be, we're going to leave it off here, page 43 of Mowry's thingy here. I'm here. Don't worry. Sorry. I could tell it was doing something. But anyways, isn't that interesting? So only one Reddit warrant was served. It was only served for Kaylee, and the police are of the belief that information related to the crime of homicide is going to be in Kaylee's Reddit. So let's just go, we'll leave that there. This isn't me saying this. This is the police. So the police are only interested in Kaylee's Reddit, and they believe information related to the crimes of homicide are going to be in the Reddit account of Kaylee Gonzalez from the time period January 1st, 2021 to December 1st, 2022. Super, super, super interesting. Not exactly sure why they believe that. I don't know why they would think Kaylee is going to have information. So, anyways, typically unique. Hi, Kim. Hi, honey. We're having problems, friends. I'm shutting it down. I'm shutting it down. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing screen. I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, mods. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you, members. Thank you, everybody. Okay. I promise you, we're going to come back tomorrow night. We're going to pick it up on page 44 of Maori's little thingy here, and then we'll get into the rest of the docs. I have all of them. A lot of people have them. A lot of people are going over them, but we'll come back tomorrow night and we'll pick up where we left off. Okay. Thank you, members. Thank you, mods. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you to every single one of you who sent a little Cash App or a super sticker or whatever. James Moen, thank you. Thank you, everyone who contributed to the fucking grift tonight. We're grifting for Hitler. We're grifting for Idaho. Okay? It's just what we're doing. Since Idaho likes to gatekeep and grift, well, we're not going to gatekeep, but we're going to grift. We're going to grift. So thank you to everyone who contributed to the grift. Make sure you got your brooms up. Keep witch cackling away. And we'll see you tomorrow night, okay? Love you guys. Have a great night. Bye.